People walk into our homes at this stage of construction and they wonder why the lumber looks so different. You can see it's got joints everywhere. All the pieces have several joints in them. You can see the edge of the tree, sometimes the bark. So this is called finger joint lumber. Why would we use it? It looks like scrap material. It is scrap material. So when they're at the lumber mill and they're making 2x4s, there are all these little pieces that they have to cut off, and they just lay out there on the ground and dry. Instead of being kiln dried like regular lumber, this stuff is naturally dry. Then they come back later and they chop it up into little bits and they assemble it into these finger joint studs after it's already mostly dry. So the benefit to that is wet lumber warps after you install it. Dry lumber doesn't. Especially in our climate in the springtime when it's really windy, you can frame a house with conventional lumber and have every wall perfectly straight. And then you come back the next day and it's just bowed out like bananas all over the place because the spring winds were blowing against one side of that wall and not the other. So it dried one side of the wall faster than it dried the other, and now everything's twisted up. Now this lumber is every bit as strong, if not stronger, than conventional lumber when used vertically. It cannot be used horizontally. So if you look at any of the top plate material that's going horizontally, none of that is finger joint. It's all solid lumber. It has to be. But for all of our vertical lumber, we use finger joint. It's about 30% more expensive than conventional lumber, but worth every penny to make sure that your walls come out straight, so that your drywall looks good, your stucco looks good, everything lines up the way it's supposed to be. We talked a lot about energy efficiency in other times in other videos, I guess. But one of the things I wanted to point out about one of the things we do to increase efficiency is our staggered stud wall framing. So if you look down here at the bottom plate, you can see some of the studs touch the wall at the outside and not the inside, and other studs touch the wall at the inside and not at the outside. So the reason for that is we can have insulation that wraps around all of these studs, and none of the studs touch both the exterior sheathing and the interior drywall. It's kind of like a hot iron or a skillet in the kitchen. You can get your hand really close to it and you feel the heat, but as soon as you touch it, it burns you. It's that conductance of the contact of the two materials. So by having nothing that touches both the inside and the outside, we remove that conductance of the temperature and energy transferring through the stud. It makes the home warmer in the winter and cooler in the summer. It was a 40% performance increase without any additional cost, just by using 2x4 studs instead of 2x6 studs. And we put them on 12-inch centers instead of 16-inch centers. So you get a 24-inch pattern on the inside, a 24-inch pattern on the outside, and none of the studs touch both the inside and the outside at the same time. This is more on that energy efficiency conversation that we were having. So anytime we have material touch both the inside and the outside, we're going to have a hole in our insulation envelope. Obviously, a window is a big hole in the insulation envelope. The window has less energy performance than the wall system does. So up above the window, we have to carry the load across so that none of the weight of the roof sits on top of the window. So up above is a header. A header is a whole lot of material. So we do what we call pocket headers. So you can see on the inside of that support mechanism, all of the support is pushed to the outside so that we can insulate it on the inside and get as much of that continuous insulation as possible.